Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you some Keyforge news. Um, I was on vacation for the last week, and I think uh, Ghost Galaxy posted like three different updates. Uh, three totally separate updates while I was gone. So I'm just going to try to cover them all here pretty briefly. The first part is about tokens, and then the second part is about the pledge levels on the GameFound campaign, which launches on the 9th. So, um, yeah, but the first one, so I'll come to that, but the first one is about token creatures. And this one, now actually, one thing I'll say about these updates, if you're following on keyforging.com through, you can sign up and get updates sent to your email, you'll get all this stuff there because when they update the game found, they'll also send an email to people through keyforging.com. If you subscribe on the game found, you'll get updates that way. So I'm getting both, and that's fine. Um, okay, so as far as token creatures go, it's really nice to get some more information here and understand a little better. And one of the really interesting things about this is that they're actually going to be printing the token information on the back of the card. So, previously a card back would have the three houses arranged in an arc across the top, kind of like they're an arc across the bottom on the Archon card back. But now they're going to be arranged in this little triangle on the upper right side with the token creature picture printed on the upper left side. So you won't have like the power or anything like that, but you'll at least have the picture. And I think that really helps because once we're used to these, um, we'll kind of be able to know, oh, there's that picture. I know what I'm dealing with here. So that's interesting. Another interesting thing to note here is it was implied in this article that that actually non Winds of Exchange decks won't be able to create tokens. So I had heard a rumor that there would be some sort of default token if, for example, if a Coda deck mimicried a card from a Winds of Exchange deck that would make tokens, that those would come out as some sort of default token. Um, but what this implied is that actually, no, you just can't make a token. You do as much as you can, but you would not actually be able to make a token because you don't have a token card. So that's kind of interesting. And we'll have to see how big of a deal that is in comparing the different kinds of decks, but it'll definitely mean that some cards play very differently against other Winds of Exchange decks versus against decks from other sets. And we've seen that kind of thing before with the Tide in Dark Tidings, right? Um, yeah. Okay. Um, but you should still have the token card around as a reference. I could imagine getting like promo versions of these. That would be kind of cool because if this is a card that you could use across several decks, then having like an alt art version or something could be a good promo. Um, yeah. Okay. So, or the other thing I thought is it would be kind of cool to have sleeves that had the token creature on them, because then with all the information, so your decks, your sleeves could be like tournament compliant, fully opaque and nice, but also have the token information. That would be kind of cool, and that would mean a lot of different kind of sleeves to accommodate that. But that'd be, I think, a neat thing to do with the sleeves. Um, okay, so a couple other bits of information here. When So to make a creature, or to make a token creature rather, you're not playing a card. So it's not considered playing a creature for the purposes of card effects, which gets around cards like Life Ward or Quixelstone. And some other effects that would matter too. It'll occasionally matter. I don't think it matters a ton, but it would matter, for example, for autocannon. Like you could imagine a 1-power token creature could never come into play if an autocannon's out, but actually it can, because making a token creature is not playing a creature. Token creatures behave like normal creatures. You, the owner of them, can look at their reverse sides, but your opponent can't. And they're the house that the reference creature is. We know that. I wonder if it'll be possible to get a Maverick token. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. Yeah, my guess is no, but who knows what we could find out. And then when they go out of play, they go to the appropriate place they would go. It works kind of just how you'd think. And then they talk a little bit here at the end of the article about how they choose what token creature is going to get assigned to your deck. And they confirmed there are 28 token creatures, and that's 4 per house. I think it'll just be 3 standard and then 1 that's tied to a rare card. So if you get that rare card, you get that rare token creature. Otherwise, you get one of the 9 standard ones from the 3 houses that are in your deck. So if you got like Sanctum, Mars, Star Alliance, and you didn't have one of the rare cards that ties to a specific token creature, then you'd have 3 Mars, 3 Star Alliance, and 3 Sanctum tokens that could get picked from, and the algorithm will pick one of them. And it says it's weighted at least somewhat toward the house with the most token effects. I guess that kind of makes sense. So yeah, but that confirms there are 28. So it's 3. I think it'll be 3 normal plus the rare per house. Okay, so that's that. And then so yeah, so they released that news, which is great. It's good to be able to understand what's going to be happening. There's some spoilers, some new spoilers in here too. I'm not really covering the spoilers right now, so just going to ignore those. And then, oops. They also posted new information about the GameFound campaign, and I'll just point out here at the beginning. Initially, they announced they had said there would be 5 pledge levels, and then they released the third one, which I already covered in another video, but I'll cover it briefly here. And then, in response to feedback from followers, they actually announced a 6th level that's in between the first and second levels. So that's nice to give that kind of flexibility to people. Again, the launch will be on September 9th. There is some more stuff that will be announced. Like there's some things that I think there might be some stretch goals and things like that announced on September 9th, this coming Friday, the day that the campaign starts. It's a short campaign. It ends September 26th. I'm guessing that's because they want to meet certain production schedules, so they'll have an idea what they need to cover in terms of what people have pre-ordered through GameFound, and then they'll get it going, I assume. So that's kind of a short campaign, but that's totally fine, because I think people are going to know what they want and go ahead and go in for it. Okay, so let's talk about the levels. The first one is the Novice of the Crucible. Backer level, it includes a 2-player starter set, which has tokens plus 4 decks in it. 2 decks that are pre-built. So not everybody might know this. Back when Call of the Archons Coda came out, it also contained 4 decks. It had 2 standard randomized decks produced by the algorithm that are tournament legal, plus 2 decks that are actually someone designed and that are going to be the same in every starter. So I don't know what the names are, but like in in Coda, there were these 2 decks that every starter set came with those 2 decks, plus the two actual tournament legal decks and tokens. And so this is going to be like that. If you're totally new to the game, I think this is a decent option. You're probably not going to want to keep those decks long term, but they should be good for demoing and stuff like that. Or I don't know, they aren't tournament legal, so when you get serious, they won't matter as much to you. But you are still getting in that starter set tokens, 2 tournament legal decks, and then the 2 pre-built decks, and then you also get 2 more decks. So you're getting 4 tournament legal decks plus the 2 demo decks for $50. Okay, is that a good deal? I mean, you're not saving much, but it's not terrible. It's fine. All right, now this one was tier 2. There's another one added under it that I'll cover, but this was tier 2 originally. Hunter of Shards. So in this one you get 6 tournament legal decks, which is just 2 more than the last one, plus a playmat, which is kind of cool. I mean, I like this art. I'm excited about getting a couple of these playmats. So yeah, I think that's fine. 6 decks. Now keep in mind if you followed early enough, and I last time I checked they were still under 10,000 followers. But if you're in the first 10,000 followers and then you end up backing actually, then you get an additional deck for free. So essentially, the last one would get you 5 tournament legal decks. This one will get you 7. Um, Seeker of Decks, which is the extra one they added in between, also will get you 7. So this is the last one was $75. You get the playmat. This is $65. You just get the 6 decks, or again 7 if you followed early. So getting 7 decks for $65, that's less than $10 a deck. That's a pretty decent deal. And you are not paying for a playmat here. So essentially, if the other level you're paying $10 extra for a playmat. And again, they're nice playmats. At retail, they typically go for 20, but I've seen them on steep sales for less. So if you want one of those, I think that's a good deal. If you just want a few decks and you don't need a playmat, this is the better deal. But it continues. So, oh, I'm missing. Hold up. Okay, here is the middle, the originally 3rd, now I guess 4th level. I'll probably still refer to it as the 3rd level because the 6 decks no playmat one is, I mean, kind of just a 2.5 or a, I don't know. Yeah, it's really a 1.8 or anyway. Okay, you get the point. It's in between 1 and 2. So the 3rd level we already covered, but it's 12. You get 12 decks, so a whole display, 2 playmats, and then and this is the really cool thing, a personalized deck. That's a pretty great option. I'm not going to talk about all the details here because I covered it in the last video, but there's an FAQ on the campaign that explains more. It's pretty cool what you get to do. You get to actually personalize the deck, and then you get a playmat that has the name of the deck on it. They did confirm you get to choose the color on the card back, and that would affect the playmat as well. So like I like green, I might get a green one, and that's for 150. So compared to the 75 for 6 decks and 1 playmat, you're essentially getting double that. Plus you get the additional personalized deck and personalized playmat, which is really cool. And of course, I expect I'm going to get a bad one, but a bad deck that's personalized, but that's okay. It'll still be super cool. So, that'd be interesting if each of these ends up being the rare token. Each of these playmats, that'd be interesting, or referencing it somehow. I don't know. Okay, so That's the middle one. And then the next one up from that is the Breaker of Chains. And so this one is 3 times as many decks. It's 36 instead of 12 Winds of Exchange decks. Still 2 playmats, so you're not getting more of the playmats this way. 3 personalized decks and 3 personalized playmats. That's super cool. So based on it being in everything but the playmats, you would expect it to be, if it, let's say it had 6 playmats instead of 2, you would expect that to be valued at 3 times, right? So 450, but minus 4 playmats, which we decided were valued at 10, you're looking at 410, I guess, and it actually ends up being 420. We'll see down at the end. I don't know if that's some kind of reference, but or if it's just a value that made sense. You also get a vinyl Niflate figure, which is pretty cool. That's never been available before, and it is shaped like a key. And a vinyl Officer Moon, also very cool. Oh, that seems cool. Like it actually has a helmet around her head. That's super cool. And the plushie, which is that's super cool. A lot of us have wanted that and not had a way to get it. So I guess for $10 more, you're getting all this, or maybe it's scaled down a little bit to give you bulk value. Anyway, it seems like a pretty good deal. So I like that one. Yeah, I like this level. I think it's as somebody who's definitely a collector and is going to be looking for something that is tournament competitive, getting 3 displays makes sense. I also have a daughter who plays. I probably want to get a deck personalized for her, so this means I could do that and still have 2 for me that are personalized. I could get one with my screen name, one with my real name. There's options here. I think you'll be able to do them separate. I hope so. Okay, and then the last level here is the Turner of Keys. This is the $750 level, and this one comes with twice as many decks as the last one, 72 decks. So if you just ignore everything else and count up decks, at this level you're getting 72 plus the 1 for following, plus the 3 personalized ones. So you're getting 76 total for $750. So you're spending less than 10 a deck, which is pretty decent. And then you still are just getting the 2 playmats, 3 personalized decks, and personalized playmats to go with them. But again, twice the number of normal decks. You get those figures we talked about and a Dusk Runner figure. This was given out as a store prize, so some people already have this. The plushie and a collector set, which has tournament not legal cards, but it has a complete collection of one of every card. Which for somebody who has a draft cube, this is a good option. I'm tempted by this. That's a lot of money to spend, um, but if I decide I have that to, if I sell some decks between now and then on the secondary market, then maybe I go ahead and do this one. And then okay, so yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal. At that point, you're, like I said, you're paying less than $10 a deck. Not, that's not clearance prices, but it's not bad. And you're getting those figures that maybe you can't get another way, the plushie, good stuff. Okay, and again, if you're building a cube, I think this is a pretty cool option. Now, one thing I just wanted to mention, because my theory is that certainly on these vinyl figures, they have a bunch sitting in a warehouse, and it's a cool thing to hand out, but also like they need to get rid of them. That's my theory, especially because the only one of these 3 things that could be in the new set is Tactical Officer Moon, because Niffleape is Untamed, and Untamed is not in Winds of Exchange. Duskrunner is Shadows, and Shadows is not in Winds of Exchange. Fuzzy Groon is in Untamed. So Tactical Officer Moon might be in set, but the others aren't. So it's a little weird to be putting them in the Kickstarter, and I think it's because they just have the stock, and so this is a nice way to get these to people who love the game and are clearly invested in it. But there's a little bit of a weird disconnect there. So just wanted to acknowledge that in the middle of all my hype. I think it's good to call out stuff that's just a little wonky. Okay, and then I'll just speculate really briefly here on. Um, I expect they're going to announce add-ons on the day they launch, and I kind of expect that they'll have. It's hard to imagine. Well, no, they might have individual deck add-ons, but it just seems a little weird. If you can get them in denominations of 6, then uh, I mean, why not just get them in denominations of 6 and then fill in from your store later if you want? But maybe they'll do that. I do think they'll probably have an individual personalized deck add-on, and I think it's going to include the mat. I really suspect it's going to be a personalized deck and a mat to match it, and that's going to end up at like, I don't know, $45 or something like that. I could be wrong. If they just have a personalized deck, I think that'd be fantastic. Um, but maybe they only allow it if you're at the 150 or higher level or something like that. Um, because it would be cool to get some more personalized decks that don't require me to store more mats, because I definitely have enough mats. Um, I'm sure they'll have the mats as add-ons. Won't be doing that. Um, they might have some of this stuff as add-ons, although I kind of doubt it. Maybe the collector set as an add-on. Um, I think some promo cards, promo keys could be add-ons. Certainly, like keys as cards. Um, I would love to see some like alt art token creatures as add-ons, um, an alt art tide, things like that. I think those are good things to have as add-ons. Um, but we'll see. They actually haven't announced that yet, so that's all pure speculation. Um, but there you have it. That's what we learned in the last week or so, and what we might see. And I hope you're excited about this. I certainly am, and I'm really looking forward to getting and playing the new set. Um, Thanks.